Microsoft announcing plans for a big stock buyback. Josh Lipton's got the details. Josh.
So, Will, Microsoft indeed making some capital return news. The software giant coming out and raising its dividend by 11%, announces a $60 billion stock buyback program. Analysts note that works out to be about 3% of the company's total market cap. The prior buyback announcement, they note, $40 billion in September 2019. That was about 4% of market cap at that time. And of course, Kirk Materne telling clients this wasn't a big surprise. The tech titan is pretty consistent at this point in terms of raising the dividend every year by a similar percentage. Also, the stock, remember, has surged a lot. It is up now about 40% in 2021. Still, Kirk has a buy. The long-term thesis around double-digit top and bottom line growth, he says, remains intact. Back to you all.
Josh, thanks so much for that. Mike, put this change in context for us for Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of an ongoing story where Microsoft has just plenty of profits and cash flow to go around. And to be a consistent booster of the dividend, it has been around a 10% annual rate of dividend increases the last few years. In terms of buybacks, it's a pretty effective buyback because they are shrinking the actual share floats down by 10% since around 2013. They're not just offsetting, the dilution from share-based compensation. And, of course, there's plenty left to invest in the business. So they're in a unique spot, and they've been very shareholder-friendly in this way, even though it's not any longer really much of a yield. I mean, it's still, even at the new rate, it's going to be under 1% yield just because the valuation is so high. I think the only question is, from time to time, Microsoft seems like it's everyone's favorite for every reason, and it gets a little bit crowded, and there's not a near-term catalyst, but it has not paid to stay out of it for any period of time in the last decade or so.
No doubt. Sylvia, how much do you weigh cash return to shareholder decisions like this? Do you go after companies that are looking to buy back their stock, and you buy Microsoft on this news?
Yeah, I do. I hold on to Microsoft on the news, and I certainly buy Microsoft every time we have a dip in the NASDAQ, and it's one of the names that pulls back. You know, they've increased the dividend 10 to 11% every year for the last 12 years. The $60 billion buyback, I mean, they have $130 billion of cash. So this is a quality company with loads of cash. They're increasing shareholder value, increasing EPS, and paying out some cash to the market. I also think that what Microsoft is looking to do in the future is super interesting. You know, they're making huge investments in the cloud and cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. So they're adapting with the times, innovation and disruption. And I think it's a great, solid company. You know, when we think about what might happen to the market, companies like Microsoft and Apple, Amazon that are flooded with cash are very likely to survive, you know, even if some of their returns pull back percentage-wise a little bit.